Martin Luther, he said, Hey. All right, everyone. Boy, this random music selector picked a fantastic song for us to come into. God. Welcome in, everyone. Yeah, this is sounds like a nursery, track. What even, can you hear this? Oh, boy. All right, we'll fade that down and go away. Hello, everyone. We made it. See, the chat's already moving. So, tonight with us, my friend Matt from Wyoming Gun Project.
Hola.
Welcome, my friend. And we're just going to have a good old time tonight. Not a ton on the agenda. I do want to talk about this NFA thing to start us off. But yeah, man. So hope you guys came with some cool questions or uncool questions. Those are fine too. So to get us going, I'm just going to catch up on the chats here. All right, everybody's just talking guns and cans. So let's just jump right into the NFA thing.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts, and Matt, feel free to just jump right in. Obviously, you guys can see I made some notes. So here are my notes. Basically, we have to start off by saying it's a win, and it's a big one, right?
It's a big one.
Like, most of us didn't think this would ever happen in our lives. I kind of thought it would. I'll be honest. That's a longer conversation for another day. But anyway, essentially here, I'm going to give you just the cliff notes of what's going on. And the reason I want to do this, look, I'm no legal expert. I'm no lawyer. And this is certainly not any advice. However, I hear a lot of people celebrating, and I've even had several say, are you going to get a can now that the NFA's dead? And it's like, oh, sweet summer child. That is not the case at all. So basically, if you guys remember, I believe it was in the Big Beautiful Bill where the $200 tax stamp was removed from suppressors, amongst a few other things, I believe.
Yeah.
And this is all strategic, okay? This wasn't random. This was a strategy. The $200 tax stamp was removed. Without the tax stamp, the government can't regulate suppressors under the NFA.
Yes.
Okay. So since that's the case, we remove the tax stamp. The GOA, who's been they have done more in 5 years than the NRA has ever done. I'm just going to throw that out
100%.
there.
They're doing God's work.
Yeah, dude. And you and I didn't even talk about this offline, but
yeah.
I love well, I won't say who it is. There's several websites that I really like, and they always have this thing before you check out where it's like, "Do you want to donate to the NRA?" And I'm like, "No."
No,
um,
thank you.
can I donate to make them not exist? That would be
Yeah.
better. So basically, the GOA writes a letter to the ATF and says, "Hey, because of all of this, because you can't regulate them under the NFA because they're not taxed. There's a bunch of people who are about to start. We're going to do some transfers, and we're not going to operate by the NFA rules." The ATF responds with, "Okay."
Yeah.
That's about the size of it, right?
Right.
They don't say cool, but they also don't say don't. And so here's the problem. That sounds really exciting, and it is. It's a big step in the right direction. Because really, here's the tactic. It's not just to get us here. There's more to do. What the GOA and all the patriots who are working on this want is for there to be so many suppressors out there that it's common use.
Yes.
Right. So once it's common use, now we can actually get something on the books. Until then, I just want everybody to understand the laws are still on the books. So we're in this weird in between thing where essentially another federal judge can come along and take a different position, and now you have a split decision. Congress can do things. Never underestimate the left's willingness and ability to screw things up.
Oh yeah.
So those are my only notes. I just wanted to throw that out there that, like, hey, it's a celebration for sure. We are not done. There's a lot yet to do. What are your thoughts, man?
I absolutely agree with you. You're right. This is the first step, as you said. It's a huge step.
Mm-hmm.
It I'm the opposite from you, that I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. So
Mm.
you got to remember, um, now I know I'm old. I graduated high school in 1992 and headed off to the Army. So that was right before the 94 assault weapons ban. So all my formative young years in my 20s shooting was always gun control, gun control, gun. I never. I remember in 2004, and when the sunset was coming along, we were all convinced it was going to get renewed.
Hmm.
And when it didn't, we were like, "Oh my gosh!" So in my early formative years, it's always been a series of losses. And the word I'm looking for, the infringements on our rights. So when we start to get them back, it's awesome, but it's also kind of shocking
Yeah.
to me. But you're right; it's not set in stone yet. And let's remember, and one thing I love about this tactic that they did was to first take away the tax, and now if you have nothing to tax, then you can't regulate them, right? A lot of people don't understand how it works. It was not a gun ban, and it was not a gun it was a gun registration scheme, but it was like a backdoor thing. So I love the fact that it's getting killed by kind of a roundabout backdoor way,
Yeah.
because the way they sold that in the 30s was, hey, we're not coming after your guns. It's the IRS. Well, the IRS. It's we're taxing you. This is just a way for us to keep track to make sure you paid the tax.
Mm-hmm.
You see what we did there? It's not a registration. We're not registering your guns, but you need to fill out all this paperwork and you need to pay a tax. And to make sure that you paid the tax, we need all that info.
Yeah.
So that's how they were able to accomplish that. And so for these guys, what was the GOA, the SAF? Hey, got to give the Palmetto State Armory and all those
Yeah.
guys, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to give it to them. They're putting their money up.
I call them the people's rifle. They
Yeah,
are.
they're putting their money up.
Yeah.
It is a well-known fact on the internet that I have an issue with their AKs. But
Mm-hmm.
the legislation stuff that they do, and you know, they do good work. But I love the fact that it's going to end by a series of backdoor,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's going to end now. Shifting a little bit, what do I predict is going to happen? I believe machine guns will always stay on the NFA. This
Yeah.
doesn't affect that at all. They're
Yeah.
two separate things. I can see where the SBRs, SBSs, and all that other stuff. come off of it, the suppressors. But again, I'm sure people in the chat are aware of this. It is all this legal stuff is a convoluted web of there's so many things going in so many different directions and so many different companies, and there's actually two separate cases. One is the suppressor case, one is the SBR, SBS, AOW, whatever case.
Yeah.
It's this giant convoluted thing, and I don't think people want to wade into it that yet until it's set clearly in stone. But I also want to give a shout out to my state. Wyoming was one of the 15 that sued on that. So that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
It
Come
is
out to
it is
Wyoming,
sweet.
but it's like it doesn't exist. We don't.
Yeah.
Wyoming is not real.
Yeah. Don't Google it.
That's right.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So let me catch up on the chats here. So first of all, I put up a poll before the stream started, and I asked, are you going after a NFA free can? 64% said no, 36% said yes, with 22 votes so far. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. It's a no for me. And this is where I'm going to qualify what I'm about to say with I'm not a lawyer, okay? But let's use January 6th as an example. There were people who weren't even in the state for that day who spent years in solitary confinement without a trial. So if people think that the government, if some, not if, when some real dirtbags get back in power, if they're not going to go back and say, hey, who got one of those cans without
Yep.
going through the process, and they're going to pin them down and destroy them. So that's.
Oh yeah. And
Now,
this is why, and people have been floating this stuff.
yeah.
This is why it's so important uh, to keep people that are friendly to our cause in office.
Mm-hmm.
These jerk offs on the other side, not only will they reinstate it, but then they'll up the tax to $5,000 per. Because I'm sure you've heard and go, well, back in 1934, when it was like $7,500 and it needed a scalable thing to be up. So they will do that. They
Yeah.
will. And matter of fact, I think one of them, if I remember correctly, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, introduced some type of crap into Congress where they wanted to make the tax $5,000 per item.
I remember that.
So if we don't get this, if we don't get a major court win, I mean, we need a Supreme Court. We need a Supreme Court to side with us on the assault weapons cases next year that are coming up.
Yeah.
Because you see, we've already got Bruin and what are the? Oh, I mean, we got like 3 huge wins.
Yeah.
And yet these lower courts and these commie states continue to try to end run that, go around it. They don't. You got to understand something. These commies do not care about the Constitution. They don't give a shit. And they'll do it just on purpose because they know it'll be tied up in court for a couple of years.
Yep.
Like this whole Hawaii, you heard about the thing with the vampire permitting thing they called it, where they said, oh, so they were forced, so Hawaii was forced to issue permits, which of course pissed them off. Then they came up with a scheme and said, well, okay, we'll give you permits, but you must get written permission from every single business holder saying you're allowed to carry on their property, which means every gas station you stop at, every store, every mom and pop store, gas station, Walmart's, car wash,
Holy
whatever.
crap.
Yeah. And so of course they said you can't do that. Take them to court. Supreme Court smacked their pee-pee and said you can't do that. You can't, you can't do that. So they overturned that. But that's just another example of them doing this stuff. I want to say one thing, Josh, before I forget,
please,
because I will forget stuff. Somebody said, question is what had recommendation on a 1911 38 Super other than a Colt? I would say a Colt, if you could put your hands on it and it's in good condition. If you can walk into the store and you check out the vital things that Josh and I have pointed out in all our videos, go with the Colt. If you cannot, I keep saying this, and I have been backed up by other channels, including Josh here, Kimber. Go with the kit. Kimber still makes 38 Supers.
Yeah.
And they are on their redemption arc. They're making good guns now.
Yep. And I 100% agree. Also, T-Sauce. They make a good 38
they do make. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But I'm with you, man. Like, I I think people who don't understand nuance think that we're have become cult haters, and it's like, no, man, we're actually the biggest cult lovers. I think between the two of us, we probably own more cults than the average person or the average
Yes.
5 people together. So
Yeah.
we have a few.
Yeah.
I did want to back up though. Corey, man, what watch are you wearing today? We got to talk watches for a second. You
Okay.
go. You go first.
Absolutely.
What you got?
Me,
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing it's another micro brand. I was going to talk to you about it
Yeah.
because you're on the ratio train now and they
Mm-hmm.
make cool micro brands. Have you ever heard of Deep Blue?
No.
Deep Blue. Okay, so Deep Blue makes some really good, really affordable, nice watches. You know, Seiko NH35 movement, all kinds of sick looms. So this is the Deep Blue Day Night
Mm.
1000. It's a carbon fiber case. It
That's got
has
like
tritium.
marathon vibes.
Yeah, it's tritium loom. All the under $200 for this. When you catch them on sale, you know, half that cost. Again, carbon fiber. Not sure the crystal is sapphire.
Mm.
I'd have to look that one up. But this one actually has tritium vials and tubes in it, and
That's
it
legit.
glows. It's insane. Um, so that's what I'm rocking.
That's legit, dude. That's nice. I'll have to look that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all.
Look out, Deep Blue. They make really good
Yeah,
dive watches.
I'm all about the
1,000 meter
micro-brands.
ones, huh?
Yeah, I'm all about the micro-brands.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm doing a. I should guess I should take it off. An Islander ISL 18.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they took a Seiko SKX case and then put a Yachtmaster sole in it.
Yep.
So like it's awesome, dude. 200-meter rated sapphire crystal, um, Seiko NH movement, day date, screw in crown, crispy bezel, and the bracelets from Islander are world class. They
Oh yeah.
are, you got the screws, not pins. So I actually
Yeah.
have not one, two Islanders on the way. uh, I've got one that's essentially this same watch, except black dial, black bezel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another one on the way that's sort of like this, but it's a GMT, and it's got
Okay.
like the steel bezel. Um, oh, I can't remember the model that it's sort of going after, but it has a really cool white waffle dial, which is super cool. So it's mostly like white steel with a little bit of orange peppered in there. So anyway, really, I'm into the micro brands
No,
ratios.
Islander makes yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your uh video, or maybe it was you mentioned it on Instagram, or maybe it was in one of your YouTube videos. I don't remember talking about your Tissot. Was that
Yeah,
a C star? I
it
forget. Was it a
was.
C star? Okay, so that yeah. So Tissot, I was like, I got to talk to Josh about this, and you just reminded me.
Yeah, go.
If you want some legit, affordable Swiss brands, Hamilton makes some
Mm-hmm.
good ones. There's a company called Rado. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Nope.
Rado and Mito make good. They're
I've
not
heard of
very
Mito.
popular. You heard of Mito? Okay. Rado makes the Captain Cook. That is a fantastic dive watch. About $1,500. You can catch them less than that, about 1250. Sometimes on sale. Or if you go to the gray market, that's a fantastic Swiss luxury brand that's not insanely priced. But yeah, Tissot is like the bottom line. And that one, did it have the Powermatic 80? I'm assuming it had the Powermatic 80
I don't remember.
movement in there. I think it probably did because I had one of those. And that is like you can't repair those. They're not, Tissot is like way down
Mm-hmm.
Swiss. Like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So like, I I'm gonna compare this to tea sauce. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
what is and here comes I can just hear the goblins awaken when I say this. Um, what does a Nighthawk GRP do that this doesn't? So at the end of the day, the custom guns look really nice and
Yes.
feel really nice, but they're not more
Yes.
reliable. They're not more
No.
durable. Like none of that's real. Okay. I am going to carry that same philosophy over to watches, where it's like, what does I don't know, name a brand. Like, okay, perfect example. Here is a shameless ripoff of the Hamilton Murph.
Hmm.
Okay, this cost $80. It's got a sapphire crystal, a 316 G stainless case, screw-in crown. What does the Hamilton do that this doesn't? They have the same depth rating. Like, so now I have to say, I got to qualify that with there is something to be said about the brand. And perfect example is Colt. Why do I want a Colt? Because it's a Colt.
Right.
Why would you want a Rolex? Because it's a Rolex. Why would you want a Grand Seiko? Because it's a Grand Seiko, right? And there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that. But um, in the world of micro brands, you just like, especially with Islander as an example, man, they have hundreds of models, and they obviously take from other established vibes and brands, but they're still very much themselves. And from a spec perspective, they're as good as anything.
Oh
And
yeah.
dude, like I take these things everywhere. I take them swimming, mowing the lawn. I literally dug a French drain in my backyard with one of these on, like sand, rocks, whatever. So I dipped into the Swiss world just to see what it's about. I'm like, okay, here's what I do have to say. The dial was beautiful,
Yep.
very crisp. Like the what's that black called that like can't catch a shadow?
Vanta Black.
Vanta Black, yeah.
Yeah.
The dial had like some elements of that, which was super cool. And the gold was PVD, which is a really cool way to do gold.
Hmm.
Um, but at the end of the day, when you ask yourself, what's the thing that a Swiss watch should have that's special? It's not the case. It's not the crystal. It should be the movement. And the fact that the one thing that died on that Tissot
Yeah.
was the movement, and I don't mean the battery died. I mean
Yep.
the whole thing just self-immolated, man. And so anyway, I
I've had that happen before. I've had that happen with Vostocks. They show up broken.
mm,
I've had a couple
Voss,
watches with NH35s show up broken. You just
yeah,
can't wind them or whatever. It happens. But
yeah,
yeah, I think what you're paying for with you're obviously paying for status, the brand name.
mm,
You're paying. It's like a luxury car, right? What
of
can it
course,
do better than your truck? Nothing really.
yeah,
Um, but you pay a lot for it, and people go, "Ooh, that's nice." But a lot of them are also chronometers too, so
mm,
they're chronometer rated, so they're more accurate than your NH. But it, does that really matter? And no. I mean, I've seen
no.
NHs be incredibly accurate and
Well, and you can
luxury
regulate
slip.
them too,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
you can. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll tell you, if I had the money laying around, there's no doubt in my mind I'd have a Rolex sub. There's no doubt in my mind. Um, you know why? Because it's a Rolex. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
um, but I have to say, that really scratches the itch.
Oh, yeah.
And I can take this thing anywhere. It'll do anything, and it keeps time remarkably well. I do have a couple watches with Seiko movements. Like I think it's my GMT. That guy runs fast,
Hmm.
but we're talking like 3 minutes in 3 weeks fast. So anyway, yeah, I love watches, dude. I could go on. Let me catch up on the chat here. Uh, yeah, Jolly Roger, he just got a awesome Slim Willard SPB
Yeah.
317. He
Jolly Roger, Mark probably told you this, but I'm sure. Have you heard of Joma Shop in the
oh
gray
yeah.
market?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where to go, dude. The gray market is the ticket, man.
Um, oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm getting an error.
Uh-oh. I still see you.
No, it's with YouTube Live. Can you guys still see and hear us? Did we just get nuked?
Maybe it just dropped down to 51.
Um, oh, it's saying that. Okay, it's something to do with the latency.
It was yours. You were a little laggy a few minutes ago, but it's good now.
Okay, they're staying. They can still see and hear us. So I'm
Okay.
gonna ignore that error. I don't want to go clicking all those buttons and
Yeah.
screw it up. So, um, yeah, let me catch up on the chats here. Uh,
Somebody said David said something about TSOS raising their prices. I think it's inevitable, honestly.
yeah, it's gonna
I
happen.
don't think they have to. You can't keep operating like that. Which again, you and I still firmly believe this, and I try to look from through the layman's eyes. If I'm not really a gun autist like us and the
Mm,
folks in the chat, and I mean that with all love, um, walks into a gun store and they want a 1911 and they see a Springfield Armory and they've seen a Forgotten Weapons video with Ian McCollum where he's like, I'm at Springfield Armory today. And they
yeah,
immediately go, which is why that company bought that name. It's so they can associate it.
it's a
They think it's
great
the
move.
government arsenal,
Yeah,
which it's not, of course. And we all know that. But the average dude out there goes, I want a 1911. And they go, oh, Springfield Armory. I've heard of that one. That's built in the government arsenal. And it's within $100 of the thesis. And
mm,
depending on the guy behind the counter, he's like, yeah, this one's made in Turkey. This is American made. And they're going to be like, hell yeah, American
that's right.
horsepower. And they'll buy it. Now, if it was $350 more, they might go, I'll go with the thesis.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. Unless people know what's under the hood.
yeah.
And listen, I get that all the time, where people are like, "Yeah, but I want an American one." And it's like, okay, I don't
Okay.
listen. What you like is what you like. I can't hate you for that, you know. Um, and I somewhat agree. Um, I am a firm believer. Like I live in two things are true at once for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm a huge believer in T sauce. I think what they're doing is amazing, truly amazing.
Absolutely.
Also, I want Colt to come back and be king and eat T Sauce's lunch.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to come back and be like, hey, here's a World War II GI parked, 1943, 1911, done the right way. It's a real Colt, $750. Oh,
Oh,
dude, can you imagine?
no,
I,
I'd buy two.
yeah, I was gonna say, did you ever see Boondock Saints?
Yes, of
One of the
course.
best movies of all time.
Of
I'd be
course.
like the dad with the vest with like six holsters on his chest,
Yep. Yeah.
and they would all just be Colts.
All be told World War II ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, because I've heard, you got to price it right and you got to do it right. And then you wouldn't be able to keep them in stock.
Mm-mm.
Because I've also heard some nightmares from the CMP
Oh,
on them getting some of their guns. I saw, I don't remember where I read it, a comment, guy said he bought four of them and he paid three like field grade ones and one upgraded, whatever their upgrade is. And the upgraded one was a pile of absolute dog crap. And
wow.
he was pissed off. I think he sent it back and got his money back. But service grade or whatever the heck they call it. So, and a lot of things I think people think about not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but I think when they go with the real pistols from CMP, they don't realize that a lot of them have been arsenal refinished before they were packed up,
Yeah.
and they literally just poured everything into a tank, put different parts together, and put them back.
That's
So nothing's
exactly. Yeah.
matching for the most part, and
Yeah. No, listen, man. That is exactly what they're doing. They're refinishing, sandblasting, repairing parts and they're all just in a big like community bin.
yep,
Um, I'll be honest with you. I do think it's a little BS that they can't take 30 seconds and just match the stuff together properly.
I agree. I
uh,
agree. I agree.
but I'll be honest. It's like you're a guitarist. It's like in the guitar world, people like the hunt. They like to find
Yes.
the good one, right? And so that there's sort of the allure of that. Or
Of
it's like,
course.
I'm going to order one and you never know. It's the box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going
Yeah,
to get.
that's huge in the gun world too. How long have you lusted after something? You're like, oh my, if I could only get this.
Hmm.
And then you get it, and you're like, yes, I have achieved what I want. And then after a while, you're like, we're on to the next hunt. Where's the next?
Oh,
It's the thrill of the hunt. Yeah.
it's like that with my my Colt reproductions. Those were, and they still are. They're my dream guns.
Yeah.
And I walk by them in the safe every day, and I just go, you know. And now my mind's on my current Colt build, but um, let's see. Yeah. So people are saying that the poll is taking up half the screen. Let me end the poll. There we go. It's gone. Sorry about that. Um, yeah. The wait till you guys see tomorrow's video on. I've got that T sauce right there. The A1 government. Um, fantastic. Now, I also, this is probably a good spot to announce some of this. I can't say too much yet, but um, I am going to be working with T Sauce finally. Um, and I'm also going to be writing for Gun Digest. We've been going back and forth, and it's a huge honor. Um, I'm going to be writing for, I believe, their 2027 edition. On well, I don't want to say any more than that, but yeah, we've been going back and forth. We've agreed, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. And T Sauce has rolled into that article. Well, there's two articles actually, so super
Um,
stoked.
it said, didn't CMP choose T sauce for an op? They did.
Yes, and
They
that,
did.
who else is CMP chosen? That would be no one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's high
Absolutely
praise.
did. But it says, is the T sauce, this is Mike Butler, is T sauce ASF worth buying over the service model? I think so. If you are,
Wait, what was the
uh,
question again?
is the ASF worth buying over the service model?
The
Um,
service. Oh, the A1 service.
with the
Oh
lowered
yeah,
ejection, but the kind of, yeah.
by
If you're like, if you've got like the OCD tisms, like a lot, and you're like, I want it as close to historically accurate as possible. Yes, I would. And the funny thing is, you make a good point, and a lot of people think that the ejection port was lowered for reliability, and the flare was cut for reliability, and it was because bullseye shooters didn't want their brass dented.
that's it.
And the funny thing is with the lowered ejection port, you can look right down there into the link where the
It's
action
terrible,
is, and
dude.
it just lets dirt right go in. And for 80 years that they had that dang gun, 85 years that they had basically, um, that they had it as the United States military's pistol, they never changed the ejection port. The only reason they changed certain things on the gun, like the hammer, the E-type, was speed of manufacturing.
That's it.
So that, and then they changed some ergonomic stuff for smaller hands with the A1 version. But other than that, they just tried to speed up manufacturing was the reason they changed hammers and some other things. But
True. So true, dude. This is a good question. Uh, well, hold on, I lost it. Um, does anybody? Oh, JRK, what's up, dude? Does anybody know anything about the Larry Vickers Wilson Combat Mags? So, uh, here's my thought. Um, the best 8 round magazines in the world are Wilson Combat, but the best 8 round magazine in the world doesn't come close to a standard GI 7 rounder. 7 rounders, and there's a lot of reasons for this. Um, but 8 rounders, even if they're good, they don't stay good as long because you have to use smaller springs so that it can compress further and fit that extra round in there. And then when you're on that
or like
last,
that collapsing follower on some
yes,
of them, yeah. So
yeah, and
it's always the 8 rounder has always been a workaround
yes,
to try to stuff that extra round in there.
yeah,
Um,
and they just don't. And look, people very often say, "Yeah, but the Marines used it." Well, The Marines do a lot of things. um,
Yeah, that doesn't mean they do it
yeah,
right.
like have you seen the food they eat? Like,
Yeah. And you
anyway,
got to understand something too. The Marines use them if they start to have problems with those magazines, throw them away.
that's
And they
right.
have an endless supply that they just give them for free. You're not, I mean, are you going to be dropping $35, $40 or whatever they cost now on those when you can get the 7 round Colt, Springfield, whatever mags for $15,
Yeah.
$20, you know? And let's not forget the way that the gun was designed to be carried was with 7 round magazine and then inserted it, but no round chamber,
Yep.
hammer down, empty chamber. And then you would load it when you were ready to shoot. So you only had 7 cartridges. So even putting one in the tube and then stacking it with 7 so you get 8 was not really, I mean,
Yeah.
I do that, but you know.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah, and you can feel it when you have um, that full magazine and you go to run the slide. The breech bolt really drags hard
Yes.
on that top round. You can do it, but yeah, that's a good question. So I want to dig into that a little bit more about the ASF versus the A1 service. So the A1 service is the one model that I wish TSOS would drop because it makes no sense in their catalog.
Mhm.
The ASF, well, frankly, I think the ASF should be the only GI they do. Um, the service model is essentially like this strange hodgepodge of what I think are leftover parts. Um, you have a slide, pretty standard, minus the text. You have the frame, A1 frame, no biggie. But then they do a flat mainspring housing. Um, they do a what is it? I believe they do a commercial Colt style thumb safety, and then you have oh, what is it? The hammer is the actual pressed checkered hammers they had 10 years ago, which is what leads me to believe these are leftover parts guns, right? But they don't make any sense, and they're not historical in any way. They're just kind of this vomit of parts. And you know what's left over? We have that gun there, the A1 Government, which is essentially a straight ahead GI pistol with a slightly tastefully lowered ejection port, and it's been Cerakoted. That's really the oh, and it has a World War II wide spur style hammer. That's the only difference between it and the ASF. That it really it comes down to the finish. One's parked, one's Cerakoted. So their catalog doesn't make a lot of sense. If it were me, I would prefer that they only do the ASF and they offer it in maybe like parked and Cerakoted. Um, just they just have too many that are too close. Um, so yeah, let me catch up here. Oh, here we go. Um, Charles said, "I would love to see a Kimber with classic 1911 touches." You know, I'd love to see Kimber. Like, look, they have their own thing. You can spot a Kimber from a mile away, right? They
Oh,
have
yeah.
their own serrations and angles and cuts and text and sights and everything.
And finish and oh yeah.
Yeah.
That rear sight that kind of swoops
Yes.
up. Yes, that's you see, like you said, a mile away. Like, oh, that's a Kimber. You
Yeah.
know?
It's so true, man. Um, I would like to see them. I don't know. I'd kind of like to see maybe more of a GI bent 1911 from them. That would be cool. Um,
I also think here's something I just thought of while you were talking with the way um I think they're with their what they call what does Kimber call them, the 2K11, their 2011-ish guns are becoming very popular. I think it's really helping them regain their reputation.
mhm.
Um I am curious as to now I could be completely wrong because TSOS is selling a ton of these guns. With the way things going, I think I've mentioned this before when I was in a local shop here in town. The lady that runs it, she was talking about it's very hard for her to sell any type of gun that can't accept a dot. So I'm wondering how much these companies, with the way the gun market being suppressed because of a bunch of different things, we're in a lull right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how many of them will start cutting back on, and offering dots and
I wonder. Yeah.
mod,
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive bummer about dots, so I won't
I,
even. And I recognize it's me. I'm the problem, but um,
well, come see me in 20 years and you'll probably be like, I love these dots
yeah,
because the eyes,
probably,
they don't work no more.
probably. Um, so yeah, man, I don't know. I know right now the 2011 thing is all the hotness, but I think what is also happening, I don't really know. I can't speak with any authority on this. Maybe not to the same degree, but there is also a very prominent swell of GI guns coming back to prominence.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well,
obviously,
I think there's a retro market coming back.
oh
If you pay
yeah,
attention to Instagram, YouTube, all stuff, you see, 2026 is the year of the Ruger Mini 14. A lot of people are back into the third gen Smiths and the
and
old Rugers, the
Harrison and
P90.
Richardson's that whole thing, the H&Rs,
Oh yeah,
the
real popular.
yeah,
Carry handle
hmm
AR-15s and 100% 1911s, GI 1911s, and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Absolutely, revolvers are making a resurgence. I think it's the market is getting flooded. It's oversaturated with the new gadgets and gadgets
yeah,
and dots, and not to say that that stuff's not a force multiplier, but it gets to the point where you're like, let me try something different. It's almost like it's too easy to shoot. So you're like, you
yeah,
want a little bit of you want it to a little bit more difficulty added in for especially people that grew up with dots.
yeah.
So they're like, oh, let me try iron sights, and it just probably gives them the same amount of trouble dots give me. So
No, yeah, it's true, man. Um, Good question here. What do you guys think of the P238 911 Kimber Micro 380? Um, so here's what I'll say: is the micro guns are better than they've ever been, ever. Um, Man, like the M&P, that little itty bitty guy.
the bodyguard
Yeah, man.
2.0.
It doesn't make sense that it's like you look at it and it's like, oh, that's gonna suck to hold, and you go, oh, and somehow there's what 12 rounds in the magazine or something.
If you put the extended one, it gives me a full, and I have XL hands.
Me too.
I've been talking about before. It gives you a full firing grip all the way,
Mm-hmm.
and you get 13 rounds. Well, 12 plus one. And
Yeah,
then if you carry the spare mag that comes with it, you get 10. So you got 23 rounds. I mean, 23 rounds of 380 ball, and you can shoot that, and it's tiny, and
yeah.
it's like, I want to say it's 3/4 of an inch wide. The button, it's no wonder. I've heard reports, I don't know how true they are, that it was the number one selling handgun of 2025 or 2026, one of the two. I think 2025
Would not shock
by
me.
like a wide margin.
Yeah, would
Um,
not shock me one bit. I mean, um, so yeah, I mean, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask because I literally carry full size 1911s. That's all I do. Occasionally, I'll pepper in like a Beretta 92 or a high power, or I have concealed carried a single action army once. I did that. Um, but yeah, I'm a weirdo. Um, Slick Six, thanks for the 5 donation. He said, "Howdy, boys." Thanks, man.
Donald says, "Hey Matt, what's up, Donald?"
Donald. Yeah, I got to catch up on the chats. I'm way behind. Holy crap, I'm way behind. Um, yeah. See, man, our Marine buddies headbutt doors off the hinges.
Yeah.
So I have a good friend. I haven't talked to in a very long time. Well, I won't say that story. The last time I hung out with him, he's there with his lovely wife. I shouldn't say their names. Anyway, she's just this quiet, sweet little flower of a person. And we're on this walk, and this guy, he is a wild fellow. Before he went in the Marines, after the Marines, he's a wild fellow who wants blood. And he he grabs a stapler and he goes, "Watch this." And just starts stapling his arm. I'm like, like, what do you? Why? And then we're going on a walk, and he's
Uh,
just like, we're walking by the lake, having a nice conversation. Both with our wives, and he goes, "Well, I don't feel great," and just fire hose into the bushes, vomits, and then he's just like, "So anyway," I'm like, dude, you're from another planet, man. Like, I was raised by a Marine, and they're
That's
bonkers.
the Marines. Oh yeah, my wife is a Marine. Yeah.
So you know.
Yep. Yeah, I was Army, my wife was a Marine. So
I'm just waiting for her to like rappel down behind you upside down.
I know.
uh, let's see here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions. Sharp Bevel, thanks for your help today with that trigger creep. Yeah, that's great, man. So that's a great example of, I'm going to shamelessly plug the Patreon. Sharp Bevel's one of my Patreons, and he was having a bunch of trigger creep. I've got a technical video on that. He watched it, and it solved the problem. So we really love helping people there. Um, and Juki, I think he's a Patreon as well. He said the same thing. Thanks for the extractor help. That's great. Oh yeah, 330 EDC. Yeah, hey man. Um, let's see here. C-Man says LTT modded Beretta 92. Better than a 2011. I would agree with that. Just on principle, because I despise 2011s. I mean, I despise modded 92s as well. I have to say that. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's one correct 92, and it's the 92F, and that leave it alone. Like, no, I don't want to put a G kit in it. No, I don't want to put new sights on it. Leave it alone.
I used to have let's talk about Beretta for a second.
Please.
So I have an M9
Mm-hmm.
service. I have an M9, M9A1, M9A3. I love the M9. I
Me
got,
too.
I think, 6 92 pattern guns. The LTT, whatever, the Centurion.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fantastic gun. Anyway, I love the 90 series Berettas. Um, but a little bit of OCD here. The 92 FS, the commercial model, right? If you look at the dust cover on a 92, it
I know
goes
what you're gonna
straight back.
say.
Yeah. It goes straight back to the trigger guard and then curves down. Beautiful lines on that pistol, right? Then somebody got the bright idea to stuff a 40 cal in that gun, and they put this fat ass angle on there. I always wondered. I was like, I bought one. It was a when there was a while back, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s, that the LAPD went with the Beretta M9. They had it for years. And it was some type of, they called it like the LAPD package. It came with like 315 rounders, and it was a 92 FS. And I remember getting it, and I'm looking at the dust cover, and it's got this angle as it goes down to the trigger. And I'm like, what, why does it have? And I break out my M9, and I'm like, they're essentially the same gun, but this one's got a stupid egg. It
Yeah.
always, I hated it. Couldn't figure out why it was there. And then I don't know how I came across it. And somebody said it was because you're putting the 40 cal in there. 40 cal is beating the guns up and the 96s. So they
Yeah.
beefed up that whole area. I guess it was cracking and failing right there. But that's just one of my little tisms. I hate that dust
Me
cover on
too.
the F. I won't buy it. I sold the gun. I don't,
Well, you
I
remember too,
got
there
rid
was
of it.
a short run where the dust cover, like on the originals and then on the military ones, the dust cover is just straight, right?
Yes.
But there was ones where they taper down a little bit, and that little taper down at the front of the dust cover, it's just the uncanny valley. Your eye looks at it and just goes, "No." Like it
No.
just can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually had a Beretta 92, and it was a great shooter, but it had that little taper. And every time I looked at it, I was just like, I can't. And so I had to sell it. I'm like,
Yeah.
the lines, dude. The lines matter.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Um, let's see here.
That was, by the way, that was the gun of the 80s. Not only was it the
Yeah.
military gun, but that was the gun in every Lethal Weapon movie. I mean, that the Lethal Weapon was that gun.
Yes.
Die Hard.
I was just
Let's give some love in the chat to the
yeah.
Beretta 92 and the M9. That was the quintessential 80s handgun.
It
By,
was. It's so I have one that's really special.
Mhm.
Um, it was an inox, which is
Oh,
I hate. I hate that finish. Just I really don't like it.
yeah.
So this lady at church, the church I used to go to, and she used to go to, um, basically she was her husband passed away. Great guy, John, and he they went used to go shooting together, and like she's in her like 70s, and she still
Nice.
shoots. Like she texted me just 2 days ago. She's like, what did she say? She's like, I got an all weather 357 Henry for sale, and so
We
anyway, she's a shooter. It's awesome. But she would bring me this inox, and dude, it was the weirdest thing. You know how it's got the drop lugs on the barrel?
uh-huh.
That inox finish would almost immediately polymerize and varnish oil, and it would cause those lugs to seize completely. You couldn't run the slide at all.
Wow.
And so I would have to like hose it down with brake cleaner, like the chlorine free stuff, flush all that out, and then soak it with penetrating oil. I had to do that twice. And so the second time I gave it back to her, I'm like, uh, that gun was so almost not fired at all. Um, Beautiful action, but the trigger is superb. It's the best 92 trigger I've ever seen. And I handed it back to her, and I'm like, man, listen, if you ever go to sell that, like, let me know, because that would be a project for me, but that trigger's worth the work alone. And she goes, well, just take it. She gave me her husband's pistol, right? Super special. So she's like, I want you to make it work and enjoy it. So I took it, and I did some work on those lugs, but then I had it Cerakoted in Elite Black.
Mhm.
It looks like you're holding an obsidian pistol. It's like just beautiful, and it's I love that gun, man.
Don't I have never in my life felt a handgun that feels like when you rack the slide on a 92, it feels like it's on glass, like
Yeah.
it's ball bearings. It is the smoothest. That gun, it's I don't give the 92 enough love. I've said it, it's one of my favorite handguns ever. But
Yeah.
just the simple things like, and I know people are going to say, yes, they took a lot of design choices from the P38, especially the locking block and stuff.
Oh,
But
shameless. Yeah.
yes, yes, they did. But the way the cartridges are presented to almost straight feed into that gun, and then everything's open, which can be bad in mud test stuff, but it gets cartridges. I don't think I've ever had a damn stovepipe in a M9,
Me neither.
or 92 series. It just gets rid of them out
They're
there. And it's,
fantastic.
you pick them up and it's a factory. What can you get them for now? $500-600,
Oh
and
yeah.
for the basic models, and you just rack that slide, and it's like butter. It
Yeah,
is.
man. Now imagine if you can that Cerakote Elite Black. Are you familiar with the Elite line of Cerakote products?
No. Uh-uh.
So it's their standard products, but they're all glossy.
Oh, so almost like a high polished blue or
Yeah,
something, or
it looks like a
really
blued,
black.
like a polished blued thing. I'll send you
Oh,
pictures
that's
later.
awesome.
Um,
Yeah.
so what was already a slick action? Oh my gosh! Like it's it's like literal butter, and the gun shoots just beautifully, man. I love it. I don't give mine enough love either. Now we both have to go do a 92 video.
I know. I still, I think I still have a couple of 92s I haven't done videos on. I had one on the M9 I was going to put out, and then tell me if this ever happened to you. You film a video, you intend to put it out, it doesn't get put out.
Hmm.
Then 6 months to a year later, it's still sitting there, and you're like, I can't put this out now.
Yeah,
And oh, it looks like crap. So I just delete it. I'll have to redo it.
yeah.
But
Dude, that's so funny. I just did that 2 days ago. I found a folder that was titled something like "Ready for Upload," and there's just a bunch of videos in there that I just forgot I ever made.
yeah,
But and they're just the it was with my old camera, and it was just dog crap, and I'm like, I just deleted them. I'm like,
yep,
but
yep.
I
I
did
just
write
said
them
that.
down. I'm like, that was a good topic.
It was
So
a good, yeah, yeah. And it kind of breaks your heart because like, oh, all this work. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Um, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just catching up on the chat. No, I used to conceal carry a Beretta 96 back in the day. Um, a lot of guns, man, I let go. I regret a good number of them. The one I regret the most, though, was my first 1911. It was a um, Springfield, the GIs with the straight serrations and the standard
Yeah.
ejection port. And I know they're floating around. I just have other priorities. You know, money
Yep.
has to go elsewhere. But that one I regret letting go, man, because that was like it was my first 1911, and I didn't know anything about them. Man, I carried the daylights out of that pistol. I mean, the front third of the slide was just bare steel, and I couldn't tell you how many rounds I fired through it. That one hurts, and I don't even want to say what I traded it for. It's shameful, but
My first one that I ever bought. So first gun I ever fired. I've told this story before, so bear with me if you heard it. Was I think I was about 7 years old. My old man, my uncle, and I pull over in the desert of California. Different California back then. We're talking 45 years ago. Pull over in the desert, and he breaks out his Colt Mark IV. It had the collet bushing and all that kind of shit. We
legit,
shoot it, right? Legit. Which now I have one, so it's pretty awesome. We
yeah.
shoot it into this dirt pile, get back in the car and drive away. Kind of, you used to be able to do that back then. Um, and then, so the first one I bought, I got out of the Army, it was a Colt. It was a Colt officer's model. And I don't know if you've ever seen these before, but it had a like a bull barrel and a big fat, uh, bull barrel on the end, but it wasn't fit to the slide. It actually had a bushing,
Hmm.
and it had this reverse plug type of thing that had a little tab at the bottom. It was a night. It might have been a 1991. It was, let's see, I got out in 95. So it was around 95 I bought it. 95, 96. This was in Washington State. So it had this plug, but the way the bushing thing was set up, the bushing didn't hold the spring plug in. It had a tiny metal tab underneath the slide. There was a little cutout, and the little tab fit in that cutout.
Hmm.
And I remember shooting it, and one of the old dudes that knew a lot, I didn't, was like, man, be careful of that thing. That those tabs have been known to shear off, and all your shit goes flying down range. So first 1911 I ever bought was a Colt officer's model with that shit. But
That's legit.
so
Yeah, the first my was the Springfield. Man, I was a Springfield guy back in the day. I mean, I probably owned three loadeds, two TRPs, two MC operators.
oh yeah,
Um, God, 5 mil specs.
yep. I love
Um,
Springville. I remember when it still said made in Brazil on
mhm.
the frames that I had. They had two-piece barrels
Yep,
that they put, I remember all that, man.
yep.
I love Springfield too. They make good stuff. They still do. I
They still
have
do. Yeah, they're only
two or three, I think, in
they're
10 mil or 9 mil.
they're holding the line on some good things, but they're going with, I think, if I remember correctly, they're starting to get into the plastic mainspring housings and plastic triggers and look, listen, I have to be sympathetic. It's hard. Things are expensive. You know, it's
Let me tell you, I'm experiencing that right now for real. It's
yeah,
it's I understand. I get a whole new perspective and understanding of what it's like on the other side. Like, my gosh, you're working on shoestring, margins here with some of this stuff. But and it was like gets me back to Beretta. I remember when I had my first 92, Beretta's doing this. All companies are doing this. So, like you said, I'm sympathetic too.
yeah,
The safeties are all polymer or plastic now.
yeah,
Triggers are plastic. There's a lot of more polymer parts on an M9 and the 92s. That was all metal back then.
yeah,
So I carried a 92 when I was in the Army. I was on tanks. So part of our loadout of the tank was we had one M16A2 for the 4 crew members, and everybody had a Beretta. And of course, none of them had finish left on them or anything like that. They were clapped out even then. Um, but yeah, it was all metal safeties, the decocker, all everything triggered, all that entire metal gun.
yeah.
And now They got a
That's
lot of polymer pieces on them.
that's what my 92 is. It's I think it's from like I want to say I looked up the serial number and it's like 95 or something.
Oh wow! And it's in
Yeah,
9 or that one in
it's
40?
a 9. Yeah.
9. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Was it a
legit.
Ghost? Was it a 92? It wasn't the stainless, all stainless Ghost gun with the stainless controls and everything on it. Did it have
I
all
know
stainless controls, or
it it might. I
I just,
actually
just
I don't
those
know.
are sought after. Those early, they call it the Ghost. A lot of
Now,
collectors call it the Ghost. It's a completely stainless gun, stainless controls, stainless everything,
I know the
black
barrel
plastic
says
grips.
stainless on it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know about the control. No, I don't think the controls. In fact, no, because I remember when I was reassembling it, I knew the distinct feeling of aluminum when you start to crush it. It has that sandy sound to it. Um,
Yeah.
let's catch up on the chat here. This is a
Well,
good question right here. Bobby Barlow says, since watching your videos, I purchased the Blued Max sealant. Do you feel there's a reason not to use it on the internals after a good cleaning? So I have a video sitting in my queue that I don't know if I want to upload. But it actually deals with this kind of specifically, and it's basically looking after your blued guns, and I show how I use blued max and what I think that the proper use case is for it. And for me, it is there's one primary purpose, and that is storage. Because look, at the end of the day, oils polymerize, they varnish in varying degrees based on environment, all these things. Now, medical grade or food grade mineral oil like ballistol, it doesn't.
mhm.
So we can set ballistol aside. But generally, oils will
That was-
varnish. Yes, ballistol's awesome.
It's awesome.
I love ballistol. But Blued Max is really for protecting your blued finishes. So
Mhm.
using it on the internals, here's the only use case I could see for doing that on the internals. If you have, let's say, a nicely blued 1911 and you're going to put it away and like leave the country for 5 years and it's just going to sit in the safe, then do that. But no, otherwise the internals need to be lubricated with oil if you plan on shooting it. Um, Blued Max is to seal the finish, to put it away, so that keeps the finish in stasis. Um, Now, can you use it to like so in a climate like Matt's where you have 20% humidity and you can actually carry blued guns and not destroy them in an afternoon,
Yep.
it's a great use case for them. Like, yeah, you slick the gun up, it'll seal it nicely. In an environment like mine in Florida, listen, man, like I concealed carried that pistol today. I took it out of the holster and literally, I know it's gross, a drip of sweat came off of the spring cap. Okay? The gun's literally just sitting in a hot box in your waistline. Blued Max will not survive that. No coating, even ballistol. Eventually, it's going to get rubbed and just sweat off. So, anyway, I just try to qualify that, and I know I'm saying a lot about it, but people are. I have heard people trying to use Max for things where you're setting it up to fail. You're going to be disappointed because it's not for that. Um, so
You
it,
know, which that's something I just thought of. If you,
yeah,
um, and that's lubricating guns in general. And so many people have so many different ways of doing it. I mean, I was always taught you don't want to, take your gun apart and then just slather it all over in oil, all the internals.
yeah,
Maybe clean them, get them oiled, then wipe them down.
mm-hmm.
Very light coat, hit the rails on semi-automatic pistols, hit the hood, hit the barrel bushing, stuff like that. But some people just squirt oil in that sucker and it'll just be dripping oil. That's
Yeah. I mean, so what I did today here's the only time I do that, and
uh,
maybe if you guys go watch tomorrow's video, you'll be able to see this. There's a big commercial spray bottle, like a squirt bottle, in the bed of my truck, and it's full of 5W20. Okay,
mhm.
and all that's for is it goes in my truck to the range. So on days like today, where it's swelteringly hot, 94 degrees, 100% humidity, bugs everywhere, You'll shoot, and after about 5 magazines, it's so hot outside. There's an aura coming off the top of the pistol. It's like
Yeah.
you're looking at a black hole. You can see around the pistol. Okay. What I do is I take that lube, and I one pump is enough to lube the entire pistol. It's a massive amount of 5W20. I just go right down the top of the barrel, and it just goes all in there. Um, that's where I will. And the reason is I shot 280 rounds today.
Oh yeah, you get that wicked heat mirage off
Big
of, yeah.
time. So when you combine that heat with a gun like the 1911 that has a lot of friction,
Hmm.
um, yeah, man, you gotta lube the thing like crazy. But otherwise, well, not like crazy. That's not true. I'm what I'm doing when I lube like that is just like when Jolly Roger was here, we were out shooting and we shot 800 rounds that afternoon of 45 ball. And we did have, I think, one of the guns, I don't remember which one, after about 300 rounds, started to like seize up. And just because we were shooting Winchester, dude, the stuff is filthy.
Oh yeah.
The gun was
It's
bone dry.
overpowered and it's
Yeah,
filthy.
yeah. So we had to re-lube. So basically, the reason for the heavy lubrication is to just avoid that altogether. But
Oh yeah, let me clarify. I don't mean, I mean, I've seen people, the gun needs to be properly lubed, especially
yeah,
1911s with those full rails that they have. Or if you look at like a lot of modern striker fire Glocks and stuff, they have four tiny little rails,
the tabs,
two in the
yeah,
front, two in the back. They're tabs.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good word. It's a good word for them. I mean, I've seen people like literally just squirt gun oil into the fire control parts and stuff. It
Yeah, no,
all,
that's going to
that
create a
don't do that.
yeah, that can actually create a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, the way I and I should redo the video. Thank you for bringing that up. I should redo that video because so here it is. You can go on Amazon and get these, and this is what 15-year-old Militech looks like. It's all varnished out pretty
Yeah.
hard. Militech's normally you can see right through it. You can't see through this at all. So anyway, you can get these tiny little droppers, and they put so little. That's what I use to lube the internals.
Hmm.
Like, and I only lube the points where like something's rotating on a pin. The
Oh
sear
yeah.
in the hooks,
The link,
the link,
the
right?
slide stops, the rails. Yeah.
Yeah, and a good oil, a little goes a long way. So,
Yeah. I used to have this old guy. He would take the slide off, put a drop at the rear of the slide on a 1911, drop on each side, and stand it up.
mhm.
So they just let the oil go down and then just put it on back on. And it was, yeah,
Doesn't take
you know,
much.
no. Speaking of videos, real quick, somebody said if you ever
Mhm.
lose your recoil spring plug, 45 casing work, Buddy lost his and we improvised. Yeah, I did a video on that. So you can stick an empty casing, replace the spring plug on that gun, and it works, at
I've
least
never
for a
tried
while.
that. I've heard of it,
It
but
is.
I just never
Yeah.
tried it. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I also I like the thought of it. I wouldn't actually ever do it because I don't think it's great for the gun, but the fact that you can take a 1911 completely apart just with like starting with a piece of brass, um, it's it's remarkable. Um, yeah, no, the lubrication thing, man, with 1911s. I mean, um, yeah, you have to lube them, but when I say that it can cause a problem, look, oil is going to grab everything. And what can happen is, well, a couple things. Um, as you're shooting, if you're shooting a lot, that oil can tar, especially if it gets really hot. When you get these pools of oil that aren't moving, it's just going to tar and collect all this crap. Um, it's going to run out everywhere, all over you.
Yep.
But
Spray your
also,
glasses.
yes,
Yes.
those of us with need some windshield wipers. But the worst part is, man, you get just the tiniest bit of dirt near that gun, you're toast.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now, I also what I don't think is wise is using like break free CLP as a lube. You might as well just use water. Like that stuff's going to disappear so fast.
I've been
Um,
using 5W30 for 20 years and it works,
it
you
really
know.
does, man.
Um, so depending on the gun. Now with AKs, I use grease
Okay,
because how violent AKs are, use white lithium grease. They will blow oil out of that gun in a magazine and it'll start getting dry.
that quick,
Grease,
huh?
it's fun. Grease sticks in there.
Hmm.
So it gets dirty, but it's still in there, just chugging along. So
I need another AK, man. I had that Visca. That's the only AK I've ever had.
we got you. Don't worry about it. We
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. Oh, you're my guy. When I get ready to
Yeah.
do that, I'm coming to you. Um, yeah, and listen,
The one. Yep.
one guy said Mobile One.
Yeah,
Listen, you don't even have to French it up and get fancy. Go on
that's right.
Amazon and get just the cheapest bottom of the barrel, like $3 quart of lawnmower oil, and it will last you quite literally your whole life.
Hmm.
I mean,
I
this,
got some here, some darn where. I got
yeah,
mobile. I've had it for over a decade or more.
yeah, dude. Yeah, and I've even done the trick. At the well, you don't. I keep forgetting you don't live in Florida. Um, there's a gun range here in Florida, the Ocala gun range. It's the Wild West, man. You go up there, you just never know what kind of jagweeds you're gonna get up there. I mean, the one time I went up there and this dude's shooting a Scar heavy with that stock duckbill break,
Uh-huh.
and I'm right beside him, and dude, I felt like my teeth were gonna fall out. I
Oh yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
it'll punish you. It'll punish you.
it was awful. He cleared the whole lane out.
Oh yeah.
And then this other dude, he's out there shooting a Marlin lever action, but he was super like autistic about the gun staying clean. So he would fire a shot, throw the lever open, and then throw a bore snake down the bore like 3 times and clean the bore, and then load another round. And I'm like, I I kind of wanted to do the Dale Gribble pocket sand on him and just to see how he would act. Shisha. um, but anyway, I was up there at that range once, shooting 1911. You guessed it, and quite literally forgot to lube the gun. Didn't bring any with me, so I just went out to my buddy's freaking Toyota Camry, pulled the dipstick out, and just wrung the thing out. Got a drip
Yep.
down the bore. I was good the rest of the day. It was
Oh
good.
yeah.
So it works, dude. The
There's and what?
Well, I was just gonna say the only thing you got to watch out for is on blued guns. That's contraindicated because there are light detergents in the
Yeah.
in the that oil,
Motor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it will eventually, like one day, you'll go to wipe off that browned out blued stuff that happens in the varnished oil, and there goes your blued finish with it.
Yep. Yeah. I had a buddy. It's funny. I think it was a Bursa or something way back in the day. This is way back in the '90s. It was that style of gun. I don't remember exactly, but he had it in his glove. This was in Washington State. He had it in his glove box, and he threw it in there, and it hit a Taco Bell hot sauce pack, burst open, got on the gun. He didn't know it. And then we pulled it out like months later. There was a bunch of bluing missing where all the hot sauce had eaten the bluing right off, down to the bare metal, you know.
Wow, that's hilarious. So
Yep.
yeah, so Taco Bell hot sauce, not a lube. Roger
Not
that.
this, yes, not a lube. Oh,
Yeah,
that's fun.
pocket sand. Yeah, dude, I love King
But
of the
there's
Hill.
videos back in, I think it was when the Russians invaded Afghanistan of the Mujis using like shoelaces with or ropes with knots tied in them, just stopping the motor wheel, pulling them through the bore of an AK and rolling, So,
Yeah, Travis Haley, his famous rooftop
oh yeah,
action
the
there
water. Yep, yep.
in Najaf.
Hmm.
He talked about that, how like that rifle he was using, he burned it dry, and they had to go, get some plastic cups of
From the
oil
Humvee, I
out of the
think, right?
Humvees. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And literally, man, I have seen a lot of different weird stuff used. Um, transmission, like gear oil, absolutely.
Yeah.
All that stuff works. those are really high viscosity, high friction oils. So to think they wouldn't work in a gun is bananas.
Well, that was my thought with the Mobile One. Obviously, I was the one that came up with that, but it was like, hold on, if it can last for extreme heat and friction for 3,000 plus miles, what's 100 rounds, 200 rounds, 500 rounds in a gun going to do to it?
Yeah.
Nothing really. The worst part is as you're shooting it, it'll probably be getting blown off the gun,
Yep.
so.
All factoids. Um, let's see here. Vaseline. I don't know about that. Uh, see, man, Diablo sauce for her pleasure. That's awesome. Yeah, the don't even start talking about mayo again, man. I can't do mayo. Like it grosses me out to no end. um Corey Man says, do I use Florida Gun Trader? No. The only websites that I really frequent are like, well, I shouldn't even say them on live. We could get nuked. Um, TaxSwap and GB. Use your imagination. Um, Even though GB is so antiquated and so frustrating, and
It is. It is.
the
It
fact
reaches a
that
lot of people, though.
it does. I mean, they're doing the numbers, but it's like, man, the fact that they still have people asking for money orders via snail mail.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to start testing pistols for mouthfeel at that rate, man. Um, yeah, Americash says number one reason for carrying a 1911. Watch the video of the guy who was at the range carrying a Glock with a round in the chamber and shot himself in the junk.
He did. You saw that one, Josh?
I did. I
Yeah.
mean, it's less about the Glock. It's more about like, okay, here comes another unpopular opinion.
I'm with
Um,
you for this one, though.
yeah, don't carry appendix. Like,
Yeah.
bro, that's
I
okay.
have never, will never, listen, you carry, my opinion is carry whatever way you want. I
Yeah,
don't care. I'm not going to do that. The microsecond of speed that it might give you, I got it.
yeah,
Some people, there's people tout the pluses for it. The minuses for me is I don't want anything pointed in that area. All that area is vital. I don't want anything. If I carry like 3 o'clock, 3:30 over here, this right side, if it goes off, it'll shoot me in my fat ass and in and out, put two holes in my butt
yeah.
cheek, and there's nothing vital there.
Just duct
You
tape it
know,
and you're good to go,
just duct
man.
tape it and keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? So no, this whole area, oh no,
No, no, I can't do
for
it, man.
me, and not for me.
No. Yeah, I'm just old school, and I never even enter into the debates and conversations about like speed. And I'm like, look, man, the guys who are super into that, I'm like, look, you guys and your nipple piercings and all the stuff you do, it's not for me. Yep, I'm gonna die. I'm super slow, and when I'm
Yep.
defending the watchtower, I'm gonna fail. All this, like, whatever, dude.
There's also two things to that. Not only do I not like any fire and point in that direction, but a striker fire on top of that.
Yeah,
Um, I just, I mean, if you're carrying a DASA because of the way that first trigger pull is so heavy, I still don't think it's as safe as carrying on one of your sides.
yeah,
But I think it's a lot safer than carrying a striker fired gun.
agreed.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, because most accidents happen when you're reholstering or unholstering.
yes.
And if you got a DASA, you can cover the hammer
Mm-hmm.
with, because you hear about it. Shirts get caught in there, belt buckles, pants, belt, whatever. So
Yeah, like a two
this is
two
not for
nine,
me.
like a
Say
two two
again.
nine. Just freaking drop the hammer, and
That's it.
I'd feel better about that.
Yeah.
But even so, man, I've tried appendix, and it's just like, oh man, come on, dude. Like, I get enough going on up front here. Like
Yeah.
we're the inn is full, no vacancy.
And me sitting down, yeah, that's the other reason I don't too, because I'm a fat ass, but it's
Right.
uncomfortable. But I'm always like looking at guys that do that. I'm like, how do you sit down and it doesn't pinch your junk and stuff down there?
Oh,
How
it
does it not?
does.
It's
I've got a
okay.
buddy who does it, and he's like, "Oh, it's miserable," and I'm like, "Okay,
Why
well,
are you doing
I'm
it?
gonna be miserable back here and
That's
not."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Okay. Somebody asked a question and I missed it. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Ernest, thank you for asking again. And if we miss you, please ask the question again. I don't want to miss you.
You're right, right.
Um, uh, Thinking about a Colt Commander in 45 at my local gun store. The serial number says it's built in 84. Listen, man, I'm a big fan of series 70s and 80s. The 80s, it's a good decade for Colts. I'm a fan. Don't let anybody tell you that the Series 80 system is junk. It's not. Um, it's like the first quarter or third of the pull, and that's not even where you live. You live at the break. So it should be transparent to the trigger pull. They're good. My only thing is, I think really with any gun, it's unless it's like a T sauce, I can buy these sight unseen all day, and they're going to be great. Um, with a vintage gun like that or an older gun, um, just put your hands on it. Make sure it's passing safety checks. Um, Even if it doesn't pass safety checks, if it were me, if it's a gun I really wanted, I know I can fix it.
Yeah.
Just be aware that, like, okay, if it's not passing safety checks, know how to fix it. Make sure it's safe if you plan on doing anything with it.
And you might be able to get some money off
Yeah,
if
that's
you
a good
say,
point.
you know.
Yeah.
Somebody asked um earlier, sorry if we missed it, thinking about a Colt Commander at 45 at local gun store. Serial number says built in 84. Any feedback on the 80s Colts?
That's
Depending on the price.
that's the one I just read.
Oh, okay. My bad. Go with it. There you go. What he said.
No, but go ahead. You're depending on the price. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on the price, condition, there's always that involved. I know you're not the biggest fan of the Commanders. I love Commanders.
Mm,
I think the full size guns, I like those a little bit better, but I'm
yeah.
also a fan of the Commanders. Um, yeah, so basically what you said, put your hands on it, check it out.
Yeah. I would, the 1964 manual for the 1911 is on Amazon for like $7. They're all reprints. The 1964 manual is really good for teaching you how to do safety checks. So that's a great way if you don't already know how to do it. Go buy that manual. It's got a fantastic section in there on it, and take it to the gun store. Just be like, hey, I'm just safety checking. And really, you're trying to just like elicit things like hammer follow. You're trying to check for disconnector, proper reset. Just everything around that fire control group has got to be right, and safe. So let's see here. Um, yeah, Corey Man says, you learned me in on the Series 80. I was going to get the delete kit, but like you said, can't even tell it's there. Yeah. I mean, look, there are bad Series 80s. Like I had a Taurus
Oh,
1911, and that gun was like, it felt like there was potato chips in the trigger. It was just like,
yeah.
it was so bad. So it exists. They're bad, but Colt's not one of them, man. Um, the Colt Series 80 stuff has always been really good for
But
me.
there's Series 70s that feel that way too. I have that Colt SCA one, and
True.
it's like, you know, the
Ugh.
trigger just, it sucks on it. It sucks. Otherwise than that, that gun is perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, but that trigger just sucks. But no, what they're saying Series 80, I was surprised. If you guys are familiar with the channel, seen the video, I bought a Commander off a friend of mine. It's made in the 80s, I think 90s. Series 80, regular Commander. Maybe no, I'm sorry. That one was made in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Best trigger I have felt. Comparable with the custom guns I got, like the Les Bears and Ed Browns, stuff like that. Right out of the box, straight from Colt.
Yeah.
One of the best breaking triggers I have. It's amazing. And it's Series 80. So
Yeah.
when they're done right, they can be done right.
Uh, Ian with Double Tap came and shot with me a couple months ago, and he had a really nice swath of series 70s and 80s, all Mark IVs. That was a fun day. The best shooting one out of the bunch that day was the Series 80.
Mhm.
If you would have blindfolded me, I would have, and I was, it's noticeably better than all of them. So,
And it's just stock from the factory, right?
yeah, bone stock.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Let's see here. Yeah. Seaman quoting Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah. One of the greatest movies ever.
oh my gosh. That and Nacho Libre are,
That's Libre is
oh,
awesome.
dude, don't even get me started.
Oh, you know what else is epic, dude? I seen you like it on Instagram. That one channel, what's it called? It's like Musings of a Crouton or something.
Oh, she's hilarious.
Oh, that is
Dude, she's
hilarious.
so funny. Like, I don't even know what's happening in
I
half of
know.
her videos, but I'm here for
Yep.
it. You know which ones I really like? And there's something wrong with me. I understand that. But where these guys go on the street and it's just brain rot pictures where it's like just like a crow with like some old dude's head and these nasty feet on it and he's just pointing at the picture and these people are like, what is this? And they're so confused. That's hilarious to me. I show that stuff to my wife and she's just like, oh.
What's wrong with you? Yeah. Ah,
I love it. But that's part of like I think dad humor too is if your wife goes, ugh, it's like 10 more funny points. You
yeah.
know?
Ah,
Like that's what makes dad jokes great. Is like all the
oh,
women in the room go, oh, it's like
oh,
that's
yep. Is 350 good deal on a T-Sauce A1?
yes.
Yes.
Listen, like,
Well, dude, 350, you're getting, even if it was used, that would be a good deal. You're getting an all steel, I mean, we've been through it before. All,
yeah.
yes, it is.
Well, and you said it well earlier, man, that like enjoy these days because listen, T Sauce is doing a wonderful job trying to stay where they are with their price. But inflation is inflation. You know, like I everybody can't be Arizona iced teas, man. Like
That's right. Yeah.
the
Shout out to them, still keeping it 99 cents for all these
heroes, them and Costco hot
heroes.
dogs, man.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Corey says he looked up the specs on his railgun. It says as a match grade trigger. What the heck does that even mean? um, usually, what that means is the actual trigger shoe itself has a over travel adjustment screw, and that's it. And really, I'm not saying that's nothing, but it's not much. And all that means is you can get in there and just decide, okay, when you're pulling the trigger and it breaks, do you want the trigger when it breaks to go pop and go a little further after the break, or do you just want to go snap and the trigger just stops where it is?
Which, if you overdo that, the gun won't even fire.
That's
Or
correct.
won't you start, so don't start messing with that stuff. Oh, that, to use one of your sayings, I want blood shoot out of my eyes when I
Yeah.
see how many people come to me like, check out my 1911, bro, and it's got an adjustable trigger, so you can make it lighter if you want. I'm like, stop, bro, stop. That's not what
No.
it's for. It's an over travel screw. No, it's I get the no.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. Okay.
Yeah, and it does
we,
not
had,
make the trigger
we
lighter.
had a retired Marine first sergeant come to the range with us one time, me and my buddy, and he was doing that. We're like, bro. And he goes, and they're arguing, and he goes, and I'm across the range. He goes, Matt, what is the screw for on the trigger? I said, it's an over travel screw.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, I told you. And the guy still was like, no, I'm like, okay, go home and crank on it, bro, and
Yeah.
see if it works for you.
That it's literally that's all it does. And you know, it's and this is the problem, man. Like there's so much of this like these names that are thrown around like that, like match
Mhm.
grade. I think the only meaningful place I've ever seen that actually translate to something real world is a Colt match barrel. like those groups actually go like that. Like they do. It's a real thing. They're fantastic barrels.
Again, I also think that some of that, which I disagree with this, but I think some of that came out of, you guys got to remember, in the 70s and 80s, when you're talking about pistol shooting, there was really no action pistol sports like IDPA, USPSA, any of that. There was none of that. It was just coming up in its infancy.
Mm-hmm.
Bullseye pistol shooting was the big thing. It was huge.
Yep.
And a lot of that comes out of bullseye pistol shooting, and then they throw it on a defensive handgun, 1911, which is kind of like the wide triggers, the national match triggers on Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. That came from bullseye shooters, wanted a wider pad
Mm-hmm.
on it. As you know, we talked about, that was never on a military 1911 or even a commercial one before the bullseye thing came
Mm-hmm.
around. So I think that's where the match grade trade came from, bullseye matches for this over travel screw.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that.
It's very
So,
true. Very
and they
true.
use it as a marketing term to be, this has got a match grade trigger, bro, which in people's mind means really good. They equate that with match grade, really good.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily the case, but
It's usually not the case. There's this is a video I've been contemplating for a while, but it's tough to do because you're going to start saying things and people are going to stop hearing what you actually said.
yeah.
Um, but it's like, look, that pistol right there, just with some light little tweaks, I can get that feeling as good as just about anything on the trigger. And you know, it's just like I think so often people are paying for these really expensive parts and services and just guns in general. And at the end of the day, man, it just doesn't amount to much. Um, with just a little bit of knowledge, you can get a GI pistol feeling. I mean, listen, um, my TSOS ASF, it's like as good as anything. That trigger on there, it's like you got a little take up, which I like. I don't like zero take up. It's a little frightening to me. Um, you hit that wall, and it's a crispy 4.2. Boom, that thing breaks, and no, it's not a round roll like a lot of GI triggers. It's like a sharp 90 break, the proverbial glass rod.
The FUD glass rod. He
Right.
breaks a glass rod. Yep.
And that is a at the time that thing cost me 320 McNugs, and you know, and I've held some real banger expensive 1911s, and you just kind of go, where's all the money? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. That it's got that law of diminishing returns.
it's a real deal thing, or that's a real thing. We'll do a few more questions here, and then we'll wrap it. If you're good with that, Matt.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Do your chickens have large talons? No, but I have two roosters that have very large spurs that I need to trim. They're good roosters though. They don't fight each other,
I was
but
gonna
they do have
ask.
like 2-inch spurs on them, boy.
Oh, are they mean to you?
No, heck, no, I wouldn't put up with that. They would eat a Lagard load or no, I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Yeah, we I just built a chicken coop, or a second one, because I was kind of like it was after that last big egg scare, and we already
Uh-huh.
had some chickens, and I'm
Yep.
like, more chickens, more.
More
And
chickens.
so
Yeah, I know.
we went from like 8 to like 24,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
a couple of them were roosters, and well, they're gone. They
yeah.
they they got eaten
Mm-hmm.
because they were mean. Um,
What do I think
let's
about
see.
fusion firearms? You know, I've gotten that question a lot. I don't know if you have.
Me too.
I don't
Yeah.
have any experience with them. I know the guy was a former employee for
Yeah, he
uh
like he has background, or
yeah, he
they
does.
they have background. I don't know.
Yeah, some of their guns are for what they're asking, I don't know enough. I tend to lean towards the bigger brands when it
Mm-hmm.
comes up to that for what they're asking. And some of the styling choices he picked, like I'm not a huge fan, you know, skewer me in the comments, but I am not a huge fan of holes being cut in my slide. All these slots and
Yeah.
I don't like that. And he seems to do a lot of that type of stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not saying they're bad. I just don't have the experience. If somebody was to send me one, I'd check it out. But
Yeah.
I'm not spending my own money on it. You know, it's that type of thing.
That is a big barrier for me. Is if it doesn't look right, I'm just already not interested.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like Gear Son. A lot of people want me to try Gear Son,
Yes. Yes.
and I look at them. It's like, look, man, they're not doing a GI thing. They're doing like more of a modern, that like a John Wick thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's just not for me. Like I don't. In fact, let me think. I don't even own a 1911 anymore that has a beaver tail on it. Yeah, I don't. All
I
mine
do
are.
quite a few of them, but
Yeah, I sold my. I sold the Raider. I sold my Kimber.
hmm
Yeah, all of them are either A1 or pre-war. So yeah, I'm just. It's not for me. I mean, I have to admit though, they're real nice to shoot.
yeah,
Like,
they're
I
very
mean,
comfortable to
I don't know
shoot.
if you can see that
Yeah.
fat scar right
It's,
there.
yep.
You know.
They are comfortable to shoot. There are definitely some upgrades on a 1911 that make them, like you said, more comfortable to shoot,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Are they absolutely necessary for? No, they're not. It's more of a comfort thing. Um, and again, a lot of that comes out of the competition circuit. Like Bill Wilson, he made his bones in what became USPSA
Hmm.
with a lot of the other old Hackathorn, a lot of the other old school guys, and they were doing these mods to these guns. Heck, I think what Ed Brown came out with the beaver tail. I think he was the one that
I,
invented it and
I
patented it as well as the bobtail.
yes, and I also think the memory hump was a
The
big.
memory, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the his big claim, which is
hmm
nice. It does work well, but
yes.
yeah, it's. I just when I look at those. Oh no, I'm totally wrong. I have the Musock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Musock has a beaver tail, which is cool. And look, they're nice. It's like when you pick them up, it feels like you're grabbing a stick of half melted butter, right? Like it,
Yeah.
your hand just kind of form fits, and it is nice. But man, I'm such a GI guy. When I'm shooting them, there's never a thought in my mind where I'm going, oh man, this beaver tail, or I wish I had a beaver tail. Like it's just, I don't know. And I
So,
understand for new people who aren't used to GI stuff,
oh yeah,
they're
they
abrasive.
will bite you. Yeah,
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 but my advice is always just keep shooting it and grow calluses, and then you're good. You know.
absolutely. So here's a question for you before
Hmm.
we get out of here. And I'm not in a rush either. If you want to keep going a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah,
why did you choose? You had so you had the Raider and the Musock,
yeah.
which were both Marine Corps pistols, and you got rid of the Raider. You said. Uh, and kept the Musock. Is
Hmm.
the Musock on the chopping block too, or why did you?
No,
Was it a decision between the two? And you're like,
N-
yeah, Raiders got to go. You like the Raider, right? Because I
I
watched your
did.
video. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
the
good.
Raider's great, man. It's a
Yeah.
good gun.
hmm
Um, yeah. So the Musock for me, it's just because the way they designed it to be the earliest, like the first iterations of the Musock guns, which
hmm
were Colt World War II pistols,
Yes,
and so it's dripping in old school GI vibe, right? You
it
have,
is. It is.
you know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah. Oh,
uh,
that's what they used to do. That's all they had in inventory was
yeah,
GIs, and started slapping stuff on it. And welding, they would weld stuff on these guns, and all
yeah,
kinds of stuff. Yeah.
yeah. That's really why. Just because it's like it straddles the fence with it's heavily a GI gun, but also has some
It
upgrades.
started to transition into the modern.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's a transitional gun. Whereas
Mhm.
the Raider, it's just kind of a full blown modernized 1911. And again, shot great. I have no complaints about the gun, but it just, my safe is so full.
Yeah.
I can only have so much at one time. And so, um, and I don't know if you're the same way, but I don't like having guns just sit there that I don't ever use or touch. it's just kind of like I
I
want
go through and I do a cleansing every couple of years.
to.
I accumulate all this shit, and then I'm like, okay, what haven't I fired in a couple of years? And there are some I'll go, no, that's too cool.
Yeah.
I have to keep that, you know. And there are some guns that I don't shoot because you can't really fix them or replace. You know,
Yeah.
I don't wear them out. You know, you can't fix or replace some of the things on there, like Jolly Rogers. If he's still in here, he is. I saw
Yeah.
he worked at Dan Weston. He says the Fusion Firearms guy.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, like Jolly Rogers pistol. What is it? The one
It's unbelievable. It's 1914.
1914. He's like, I'm not shooting that sucker. I get it. Like I
Oh
totally
yeah.
get
No, like
it. You know?
he said he shot it once. He went out and I think he said he put 50 rounds through it in an afternoon like 30 years ago.
30. Right,
Um,
right, and that was it.
and that's it. And I totally agree. That gun
Mhm.
at this point in time is, I would go as far as to say it's in the top 25 1911s on in the world in terms of like historical significance, quality, condition. It's genuinely a world class historical piece, and it's an experience to hold. It really is. Like, because I've got a bunch of old guns, but this one, it's like it just stepped out of a time portal because it's in such good condition, and so it's like you're getting to feel and experience this gun that's like fresh off the factory floor, and you get to just absorb that vibe, man, of like this is how they were. Um, and there's so many things about the gun that's just, it's not like now where everything's synthesized and
Cookie
done.
cutter, and it's a product now. It's
Yes,
not an art form. There's no soul
exactly.
to it.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
right. That's exactly right.
I
The
love that. I don't know about you. I'm kind of a. I think you and I are a lot alike, and there's probably a lot of people in the chat there. You're kind of half collector,
Yeah.
half shooter type of, you know,
Hmm.
depending on the gun and the situation, all this kind of stuff. But I assume you're also like, you pick up a gun and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
where has this been? Who shot this? The history of it, you're wondering about what was it like back then when they were building, just all
Oh
kinds of
man.
stuff, you know.
I I have a few guns that, so I have my Winchester 1907 made in 1909.
Uh-huh.
And I get that really strong with that gun because it's 100% original. It's never been refinished or anything. And you just hold it and you see like there's little inspector cartouches all over the rifle that a person, boom, they
Yeah.
put that in there. It wasn't lasered in or even roll marked by a steam powered machine.
Yeah.
That's a
It
punch,
was fan. Yeah. Punch.
you
Yeah.
know. And you can just see like, man, somebody took their time here, and you can feel it, you can see it. It's and you can't fake that. You
And
can't
then you
synthesize
wonder
that.
with that gun, which is a very cool gun,
Mm-hmm.
you wonder, you think about it when it was pristine, brand new in the
Mm-hmm.
box back then. When was it made? Did you ever find out exactly?
1909.
Oh nine. So it was 2 years after the model was
Yeah,
designated. So that's an early gun.
very.
Imagine it brand new. They're putting it in the box. They're shipping it probably to some hardware store in Wisconsin in 1909, and somebody
Interestingly,
buys it. Uh-huh.
Wyoming.
Well, there you go. Well, hopefully you can rehome it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's cool. And then, and yeah, so Wyoming. So it was probably out here, and they carried around in the little dings, and at that time they were probably still riding horseback, and there was,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, cars out here, you know. So they took that sucker honey. That's cool, man.
It's
Is it a
super cool.
takedown model? Are they all takedown models?
Pretty much, yeah. It's got the little screw and
In the back, yeah.
upper and lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But yeah,
biggest thing, I think you mentioned it, the biggest thing I remember about those were that 4 inch cracks on like every one of them,
yeah,
just about. It's so fragile and thin on the wood.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a really good fix for them though. Like the Brownell's Acra glass.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
I just treated it like a boat, and I just lined the inside with Acra glass,
Hmm.
several layers thick. It's held up for a year or yeah, about a year and a half. I've shot it several times.
Was it cracked when you bought it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to do what people suggested, where they're like, use acetone and clean the crack, and then you uh, wood glue it, and then some people were saying like use metal shims in there, and I'm like, man, there's no room in there for all that. And so I had this light bulb, Glass. That stuff dries. It doesn't shrink when it dries,
It doesn't. Yeah.
and
It's good stuff. I've
oh,
used that
it's
before. To repair
phenomenal.
M1, to repair finish Mosin, M39 finish Mosin stocks and M1 stocks and stuff like that. It works great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that stuff.
Didn't they have a, I think air crews used to use that to shoot at each other. Didn't they have like extendo
Oh
mags
yeah,
for Post 7? Yeah.
yeah. So very funny, cool story. We sold a pile of them to the French, like 58,000 of those rifles. Or
Uh-huh.
no, no, that's not correct. That's how many were ever made of the 1907s. Anyway, we sold a bunch of them to the French for World War One, and we sold them like 2.1 million rounds of 351 WSL,
351. Yep.
which is a lot. Um, but they only ever came with 5 round mags. So the French actually designed and manufactured the 10 rounders,
Okay.
and they came up with their own thing. But yes, they were using them in aircraft, and they would fly over the trench, pull out the 351 with their 10 round mag, and just shoot into a trench. But there is
Which, by
one.
the way, that cartridge is no slouch,
It's
but
not. Yeah,
it's
180 grains at, I think you can get them upwards of 2,000 feet per second. Um, that sucks to get hit with. I'll tell you that.
yeah.
Um, but there is one. Whoops. There is one confirmed kill, uh, where the French pilot is shooting at a German pilot with his 351 as he passes, and he dumped him. He shot him with the 351,
Oh
which is
shit.
super cool. Like,
Yeah. Nice hit. Yeah.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
But man, they're heavy. They're like nine
Yeah.
pounds unloaded, man.
Yeah,
They're
it ain't no
beefy.
30 carbine. That's for
No.
dang sure, which is a fantastic rifle in itself. But if you guys in the chat aren't, you probably all are, but if you haven't seen his video on it, he's done fantastic videos on it. It's the one with the plunger thing,
Oh
which we
yeah.
talked about before. They were trying to get around John Browning's patents, which is why
Mm-hmm.
some people be like, that's dumb. Why don't they just put the lever on the side? Because John Browning patented that stuff. He patented the charging lever, like what's on all modern rifles, you know.
Yep.
So they had to try to work around, which is the same thing with that Widowmaker shotgun.
Yeah. No, man. It's absolutely true. I've tried to find guns on the American side post 1890 that John Moses Browning didn't influence in some way or another. Like where he screwed somebody else with a patent, or they were responding to what he did, or something. He's the consummate gun engineer
Oh,
of
100%. Come on now. All modern tilting barrel lock breech handgun. Him. That's him.
he's the guy. He's
So
the guy.
all your Glocks and all your fancy, that's it.
Okay, let me address this question here. Bobby says all 3 of my T sauce are at, I can't talk, 3.25 pound and have no over travel. I doubt. Okay, so I do not have adjustable travel stops. So I'm guessing these are GI guns or whatever. Really, I guess it doesn't matter. So, okay, so you want to solve that weight. That weight is far too light. Um, if it's a range toy, okay, that's fine. But there's a reason that the military, going all the way back to 1911, I mean, their weights varied when you read the manuals from 12, 18, 46, but they are all in a range of 4 to 7 pounds. Sometimes they went to 5 to 7, sometimes they went 4 to 6.5, but there's a reason for that. Why did they not go below 4? Well, because when you're under stress and you start tickling that thing, um, accidents happen. And also just the shock of getting the gun getting smacked around. Um, so,
Especially as the springs start to get older and wear out and are shot, you'll get, yeah.
yeah, it's just not a good idea. Sub 4, really, I think sub 4.25
Mhm.
is chance in it. I don't.
Now, like you said, I think that in a lot of competition settings, that's heavy. A lot of guys like to go 2.5, 2 below. The thing you got to remember about competition is, especially with USPSA and all these IDPAs and all these other ones, is you're walking around with an empty gun the whole time. You don't load till
Yeah.
you get on the line. You shoot your stage, which is usually about 20-second at the most shooting, and then you unload and put it away again. So you're not walking around with it.
Mhm.
It's not bouncing in the vehicle or on a horse. You're not getting. So you're absolutely right. I would be comfortable with 1911s, 4.5, 5 pounds.
Yep.
You can get an amazing 5 pound trigger if you do it right.
Bingo. That's what I was gonna say, man. Is like it's more about the quality, not the weight. Um,
Yes.
I mean, like that guy right there is right at five and change. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
five and maybe an eighth. It's
Mhm.
hard to say. You would never know it because it's very
Crispy. It's
crisp.
just,
Yeah.
yep.
So, but to respond to your over travel question, uh, that's going to be difficult for me to talk about here. Um,
What was his question? I don't.
well, it's basically he has no over travel. So here's what I would do. Start here. The middle, when you look at your leaf spring, okay, you have three hands. The right one is for your grip safety. The left one is for your sear. The middle is for your disconnector in the back of the trigger bow.
Mhm.
Bend that middle one in just a little. Okay. So if you hold the sear up like you're looking down the blade of a knife, kind of, use your memory, mark where it is, and bend it so it's just like a hair further forward, maybe 2 hairs. Put it back in. So that spring is providing more resistance. Um, what I think might be happening is because it's so light, you can't perceive the over travel. But with more resistance, I think maybe you would feel it pop past the point of the sear letting go if you had more weight. I would start there. If that doesn't work, shoot me an email and we'll
Mhm.
see what we can do. But if it's all three, um, I think it could be more about what you're perceiving than anything. Um, but anyway, yeah, just try that. Try to increase that middle hand a little bit, and that'll help. Um,
Somebody said JSOC pistol is dope. That's the one I was trying to think about the other day
mm,
when I was talking to the Mac. JSOC.
yes,
I bought one of the 1 of 500 when they first came out. Came with a knife, a lighter.
the J Soccer's
Ultimate.
so cool,
The
man.
JSOC, they're
Oh man,
awesome.
that's actually what I wanted over the Musoc,
Uh-huh.
um, because I actually like those target sights.
Oh yeah,
Those are really nice. I mean, I love the Musoc now that I have it, but the JSOC that is like
it is dope. It is
super cool.
indeed dope.
Yes. Um, looking at a 1911 from 1918 has a Rock Island rework stamp. Does not show any A1 parts. How does this affect value? So an Arsenal rebuild is always going to hurt the value, always,
Mhm. Yep.
because here's the fact that anybody who knows what a pre-war is does usually, not that it's terrible, but usually nobody wants them parkerized. Um, so it does affect value. It's probably going to take what, let's say, like a really good condition 1918, all original could be upwards of 4 or 5 grand. Um, one that's pretty beat up, maybe around two. Arsenal rebuild, you're talking $1,200, maybe less. So it does affect value quite a bit. Now they're still very cool, and if you really wanted to, you could get it to somebody who knows what they're doing. You could have the grain lines reestablished, sand it, blue it. Absolutely possible, but it just
Oh yeah, there are
depends.
shops out there that will do that.
Yeah, like
100%.
I've done it. Jolly Roger's done it. We're
Mhm.
not open for business to do that yet, but like yeah, like Turnbull, um,
Yeah.
they're wizards, and
Yeah.
they'll go a step further. They'll reestablish all the roll marks.
I was gonna say, won't they and put stamps in too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the acceptance stamps.
Yep,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're on another level.
This was
Um,
saying since Matt, 20 pound recoil spring, right for a commander, 1911 45, and also 185 grain or 230. better for best performance. You're gonna open a whole door. I think Josh and I are on the same page with this.
Yeah.
We are for 230 grain, lower, big fat ball rounds. And I
Hmm.
don't like the fast light rounds in a 45. It's kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Um, so, and 20-pound recoil spring, I don't think so. I think it's too heavy. I think one of the misconceptions about it is put in a heavier spring, it'll help control recoil. Absolutely the opposite.
No, it
It will
doesn't.
absolutely, it will make your muzzle dip as it's slamming forward, and you don't want heavy recoil springs. Now, if you're converting it, because there are some conversions out there to like 460 Roland and
Hmm.
some of these other yes, you have to put a heavier recoil spring in for those. But for standard 1911, and Josh and I's favorite low, which is about a 230 grain ball hovering right around 800 feet per second?
Yep.
No, absolutely not. I would go 16, 14 to 16, somewhere around there. What do you think?
Well, so he said, wait, he said it's for a commander.
Oh, for commander. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, for a full size, everything you said I agree with. For a
Yes.
commander, I believe. Here's the thing: I never get into this stuff. So Matt, you feel free to take this one
Mhm.
if you want, because it's just a different gun,
It
and
is.
they're a man. Your slide velocities, your slide weight, your pressure, your
Oh,
lock
everything.
time, everything's
You
different.
think they just chopped 3/4 an inch off the barrel? Not true.
Mm.
Not true. Funny story here, real quick, before, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Had a
please.
buddy, he bought a older Les Bear Comanche, which is
Mm.
their commander size one, right? Well, early on, Les Bear was building them on 5-inch gun frames. Turns out on the Commander, they actually shortened the rails and some of the internals on a Commander,
Hmm.
and it was having failure to feed issues and all this other kind of stuff. Les Bear knew about it. They took it back. They fixed it. No issue. Sent it back to him. It was fantastic. But that's a thing that one of those tiny little things that you don't even think about, that Colt went in, and when they were developing the commander, they had to change some dimensions and stuff inside on the frame, was
Yeah.
specifically with the rails, to get it to work properly.
It, they're different in so many ways, and look, I'm not. My view on it is what you gain in weight savings for this little piece of barrel disappearing, you sacrifice so much more. So much more. I think you're just a good belt and a good holster away from being able to carry a proper 1911. I mean, look, everybody's different, so I'm not going to hate you if you just like a commander, but um, generally, you're on the right track. It is true they do require a little bit heavier spring because the timing is just completely different. Slide velocity is different. Generally, I have heard people run lighter bullets. That's true. But yeah, Jolly Roger just said stock commander spring weight is 18 and a half pounds. So
There you go. Yeah.
I would go with what
Which
he
is funny,
says.
which is what comes with my Les Bears.
Yeah.
And this is another thing, guys. You have something that you have government GI specs that the government set out the specs for,
Mm-hmm.
that John Brown and Colton them delivered and they designed it for. And correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but they did switch spring weights in there, from the beginning of the gun to later.
Yeah. And
Um,
uh, during the A1 program, they went down to, so they didn't look at springs in terms of weights. Um, like sometimes some people would just count coils
okay.
and call it like a 33 coil spring. But anyway, they went to something like a 14, 15-pound spring in World War II. And really the sole reason was so that people could pull the slide back easier.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but
and
but custom guns, they'll sometimes do their own thing. And I know the
they
Les
do.
Bears come with 18 and a halves,
Well, that's,
because, you know,
yeah, that's the hotness right now in full size 45 guns. And the whole thing behind that is, I mean, it's several fold. They say that it is easier on the gun. It's like, okay, fine. But I don't see why that's necessary because there are World War II guns. Like Jolly Roger, when he was here, he had two Remington Rands, real ones, on the range. Those springs had to be 11 pounds. They were original and they were so shot when you shot them, dude, it was like the springs were gone. And there are guns like that with like 500,000 rounds on the frame.
Let me guess, those guns kept chugging along, how they just kept shooting.
Ran
Yeah.
beautifully. Yeah.
Like, ow.
Yeah, they were awesome. So if that's the case, that a substandard metal and metallurgy in World War II can get thrashed on for generations by like the Marine Corps using the same frames and all this,
Oh yeah.
why do we think that, like, supposedly from a custom builder, the metallurgy should be perfect, the heat treating should be perfect? Why are we worried about beating up the, like, who's shooting their gun enough for that to be a problem? Nobody is the answer.
Mm.
In fact, there was a YouTube video that was very popular because one guy shot his Kimber 80,000 rounds. So like, it's so rare that when somebody does it, gun media is like, we got to go talk to this guy. So the whole thing's horse crap. That we're saying, oh, we got to be easy on the gun. No, you don't. A 16-pound spring was correct from day one, and it changed during the A1 program. But John Moses Browning, he did not sign off on that. He was off doing other things.
Yeah.
By that point, I think he was already with Fabrique Nationale in Belgium doing his own thing. So, and the reason they changed it had nothing to do with anything other than small men and the lowest common denominator being able to pull the slide back. Um, so yeah, that this is an issue that I'm pretty passionate about because um, there's just these misnomers, like you said earlier, that a heavier spring is going to make the gun recoil less. It's way more. Because not only, yes, the spring as the slide's going to the rear is absorbing that energy from the slide, but the spring doesn't just absorb it and disappear it into the ether. It goes into your hand.
Yeah.
That energy has to go somewhere. So it's terminating in your hand versus slapping to the rear, and then you have that recoil. You have more of this round push. But then when it's going back, now you have this hard dip down because the slide's
Sure
slamming
do.
home so hard.
Yep. Yeah.
And now when when the 18 and a halfs wear in, um, they can feel pretty nice because they wear down to about a 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is kind of interesting. But look, if, to quote Ken Hackathorn, and I think he's right here, if it was a problem in 1911, they would have changed it in 1912. And that's just the truth. The 16-pound spring has always been the right spring, because it's not just recoil, it's feeding. Like, I've also had this problem where people with 18 and a half pound springs, especially when they're new, you'll have some cartridges hit the feed ramp and the bullet will set back
Yep.
and then it
Oh yeah.
can't make the turn, right? So
Yep.
now the bullet's too short and it'll just spin straight up.
Yep.
That is purely the fault of the spring, and people will blame the ammo. It's like, well, hold on. Most ammo is made to the original spec, um, or the pressure spec. How many pounds it takes to pull that bullet out of the case, which is about 40. Um, so anyway, the 18s, nothing is free. There's no free lunch. What you think you gain with all this recoil absorption with an 18, you are giving up in actual recoil control. You can have cartridge feed issues.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's yeah,
Because in case folks don't know, those things are timed.
yes,
It's not just let's throw some springs in there, see what's work. Engineers go back and they time all this stuff, so the cartridge has got to lift up in enough
yes,
time for that slide to go all the way to the rear, travel all, and then come and pick it up. If the slide's not traveling all the way, it's full travel, or the magazine spring is not strong enough to lift it up in time, that's where you start having issues.
yes,
It's all
100%.
timing.
Yeah, and that is true. That nothing in the 1911 was an accident.
No.
Every freaking part of that pistol was thought out, and it's there for a reason. And it underwent a lot of scrutiny, a lot of development, and the one that got adopted was very successful for a reason. And so,
Horses.
yeah,
It's the cavalry.
the cavalry board.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
but goes back to exactly what you were saying. Why 8 rounders and plus round magazines
Hmm.
are have more of an issue
Hmm.
because it was set up with the timing and the magazine and all that stuff for 7 rounds in the magazine. And
Hmm.
like you said, you have to cut the follower short so you can get tilting issues, but all kinds of things that can come along. Can they overcome it? They have with some good magazines out there, but they're a lot more finicky,
Yep.
and it wasn't designed for that. So
True. All true. Yeah, and again, I have to give credit. The Wilson 8s, the 47Ds that everybody wants, and they're fine. They're okay. But look, I have broken the plastic followers. I have broken the plastic base plates on those. They're not invincible.
yeah.
They do not solve all feed issues like is erroneously reported. That's just not
Hmm.
true. Um, and they don't work in all guns, you know.
No.
So I just think the original John Moses spec mags work the best, and that's proven. And this is the other thing. The reason I can say this with confidence, I don't even have to use my experience because we have this thing called history. We
Yeah.
we can just look at history, and we have 115 years of service fact with the 1911 that we can hold up, and then somebody's coming along with these novel concepts and going, no, they're
No,
doing their thing.
I was
Yeah.
about to say that thing. No.
And look, my response to them is you have to go fight history. Because if that it would be one thing if the 1911 came out last week. Maybe you could make that case and people would believe you. The problem is it's been around too long in these configurations. We know what it does. The jury's out. We already know. So anyway, that's a bit of a passion of mine, and I know it's a nerdy thing about springs, but
Hmm.
part of it, the reason I'm so passionate about it is the 1911 gets maligned and blamed by people who don't know what they're talking about. And it's because of simple things like this, where gun manufacturers send out pistols that are undersprung, they're not built properly, and people hold it up and go, 1911 suck. And it's like, not when they're built the way they were originally. So, anyways, um, all right. Well, I think we're caught up on the chats. Let me just do
Hmm.
one more little scan here.
Jolly Roger said, and you're getting coil stacking as the slide moves rearward, which starts forcing the muzzle upwards before you go forward and back. Yeah,
Fact. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a real simple test, man. Like I've done this so many times with people where you just go out with a 16-pound spring, have them shoot it, and then you put in an 18, and they're going to go, ugh. Like it
Yeah, it's
sucks.
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
You really do think, oh, okay, heavier spring, it'll help absorb recoil.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not, that's not crazy thinking. You think that's the way it would work, but it doesn't. It's the
It,
exact opposite.
it was, I remember learning this because I was one of those guys back in the day. I had full length guide rods,
Yeah, oh,
18 and a
yeah.
half pound springs. I had all that crap. I bought the propaganda.
Yeah,
And really it's only the people who have financial interest in you buying their stuff that say this.
yeah,
But I remember this guy with just an old GI World War II gun, and he kind of opened my eyes to all this. And he's like, "Why do you think they put a 16-pound spring in there from the start?" And I'm like, I just had this stupid
oh,
attitude of like, I don't know, they were dumb back then. And it's like, no, man, these guys they're way smarter than us. Like John Moses Browning was famous for not even writing down half of the crap he came up with.
it just remembered it.
Yeah, he just like this crap emerged out of his mind.
Can I tell you that is kind of a side note? I know we're running long,
It's okay.
but that makes me, like you would say, makes me want to mouth feel my pistol. But
Yeah.
the idea that just because people didn't have smartphones or whatever, they were dumber.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Mm.
Stop that shit. A lot of people, it just frosts my fucking ass how many people, pardon my French, how many people think that the world just started when they were fucking born.
Oh
And
man.
it won't, and it's like, and oh, those dumbasses back then. No, dude. No, like it's the exact opposite.
It is
We're the
the
dummies.
it's fact. Yeah, and I would just say this, like, okay, go try to come up with a design. Do something new. Fix a problem. Watch how hard it is. And
Mhm.
this guy, ah man, I mean, we're talking God, the 1885 high wall, the BAR, the 1911, the 1903, the 1908, the high power,
The 94,
yeah,
the
the
potato
freaking
digger,
the 30 cal, the machine gun, the what is it, M2,
all the lever guns, the A5
yeah,
shotgun.
right.
The Browning A5. He came
You
up with
just
that.
you go on and on. These are the 92, the Winchester 92. Um,
Striker fired guns, Glock guys. Thanks,
yeah,
John. Thanks, John Browning.
that's real.
That's it. Yeah.
That's real. Yeah, when me and Mike from Cut Rate Clones did that video on the high power, which I've never summoned so many forum goblins in my life than with that
All we
video.
got was no.
Oh, it was just a chorus of nuh-uh. Um, when I told them that the some of his original prototypes were striker fired, they were internal striker. So many people were like, "It's always been hammer." No, you're attacking my childhood. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, but yeah, no, these guys back then they did all this stuff without computers, without something to think for them. They were pioneers and geniuses, and um, everything in those guns is on purpose. And I just yield to that wisdom. Now, have there been improvements? Yeah, like I did a video on this. What improvements to the 1911 have happened that actually matter? Metallurgy getting better,
Yeah.
that matters. Things like that. Finishes, like, okay, blued finishes don't work well in human environments. Okay, that's cool. But
Mhm.
like most of the other crap that people think they're smarter than him, no, it just doesn't hold water.
Yeah.
Um,
And before we get out of here, if you are a gunsmith who says you invented bending Smith and Wesson
oh,
springs,
dude.
or you don't even know what a Marvel cut is in a 1911, just go away. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say that right
yeah.
there.
Just one of my favorite comedians says this: put a vest with a bunch of pockets on it and take a hike. So, I love it. Oh man. All right. Well, man, you got anything you want to shout out?
Now, somebody said, look at the Egyptians. The Egyptians did not build the pyramids; those are alien built from a previous um, civilization that the Egyptians moved into. So I'm just saying.
Is this the? Are we going to transition into Art Bell stream now? uh,
Nah,
so
dude, I'm good. Yeah.
okay, cool. Well, hey, you guys should all know Matt. If you're not following him, the heck are you doing? Go follow him. Wyoming Gun Project, and please go watch tomorrow's video. It's goes live at 11:30. Um, would love to see you guys see that one. I'm really happy with the video. It was a lot of work put into that video. It took many hours. So, um, and I got some cool stuff coming, man. Really excited for the future. Um, and me and Matt are going to be doing some videos together here in the
Yes.
coming months because for those who don't know, I'm going out to Wyoming here for a visit soon. So we'll be in the same room here pretty soon.
Absolutely. And if you need any AK work or whatever, hit me up if you want some AKs
Yes.
and stuff.
So that's fully live. Can we talk about that for just
Yeah,
one split
absolutely. Go
second?
ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I didn't do like a big reveal, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
Wyoming Applied Kinetics, right?
Wyoming Applied
Okay.
Kinetics.
So yeah, he
Whack.
whack. I love it. I didn't put that together. That's awesome. Yeah, he's doing AK builds. And so yeah, please go check him out. In fact, I posted on my Instagram your Instagram for uh the Wyoming Applied Kinetics.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you guys go
Yeah, I
give
haven't
him a
been
follow.
posting over there. I was like, God, I gotta post something and get
Yeah.
this ball rolling up there.
And they look good, man. I'm
Thanks.
excited for what you're doing because it is a hole in the market with the AKs where it's like it's either cheap junk or
Hmm.
three
Really
thousand
expensive.
dollars. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
trying to bring that price down a little bit, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome, dude. All right, John Moses Browning designed the pyramids. All right, we're gonna leave it there. All right, thank you guys for being here. It was a fun one, and thanks for being here, Matt. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me, dude.
We will see you guys here very soon.